Quote, we just clean out that whole thing. We just need to clean that whole thing out. That's what Donald Trump said aboard Air Force One flying from Vegas to Miami about Gaza. He said that he's going to be calling his friends in Egypt and in Jordan and basically ask them to take all of the Palestinians so that there's no prospect at all of a Palestinian state. This should not be surprising because this is what Donald Trump has always felt. This follows Donald Trump's pick to become the United Nations ambassador, Elise Stefanik. She said during her confirmation hearing last week that she holds, quote, a biblical view that the West Bank and a Palestinian state should simply not exist. This also follows Donald Trump's pick to be the ambassador of Israel, Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, who said that he also holds a biblical view that he believes that Palestine should never exist, that it never existed, and he considers himself to be a Christian Zionist, is how he refers to himself. Also, Donald Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, holds views like this as well. Also, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was previously quoted as saying that he would be okay, or he would encourage basically all of Gaza and the West Bank to just be totally demolished so that condominiums could be built there. Also, this follows Donald Trump saying in the Oval Office last week when he was referring to Gaza, he was referring to it as a great piece of land where things can be built, and he was talking about it as though he was considered building condos or apartments there. He says it's got great waterfront properties. That's how Donald Trump was talking about it. So now, with all of that, we have a lot of Muslim voters who voted for Donald Trump who are now regretting their vote. But you effed around and you found out. This is who Donald Trump has always been. And also there were Muslim voters who said, look, Trump and Kamala are basically the same and there's really no difference, despite the fact that Vice President Kamala Harris would say things like this. Like, this was the statements that she was making. She would go, the UN reports that no food has entered northern Gaza in nearly 2 weeks. Israel must urgently do more to facilitate the flow of aid to those in need. Civilians must be protected and must have access to food, water, and medicine. International humanitarian law must be respected. And then you would have Palestinian voters and Muslim voters here in the United States who would, whether they voted for Trump or her, they would say things like, if you think that your activism is doing nothing, just look at how these hypocrites' messaging changes as November 5th approaches. And then they said, well, you know, at the end of the day, they're both the same and there's not really going to be a difference between either of them at all. I mean, take a look at this post right here. On March 6, 2024, Kamala Harris's, quote, 6-week ceasefire stunt right before Super Tuesday failed. The hypocrisy is astounding. They are determined to continue aiding, abetting, and committing a genocide. And you would see all of the people who would be booing Vice President Kamala Harris and protesting her. And you never really see the protest when it came to Donald Trump. On the other hand, you had, for example, leaders in Dearborn, Michigan, Muslim leaders in Dearborn, Michigan, standing with Donald Trump and strongly endorsing him during the campaign. Like, remember when this took place? I'm just going to show you a short clip of it. Let's play it.
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war. We are supporting Donald Trump because he promised to end war in the Middle East and Ukraine.
You know, and now again, we're hearing from a lot of Muslim voters, oh, you picked Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth got drunk and he was in a bar and Hegseth was saying, you know, to kill Islamic people. And that's what he was saying, to kill Muslims when he was drunk in a bar. That's what he was saying. And all these people are so bad. Yeah, well, this is who the people are. Let me do this. Let me first show you what Donald Trump said. You can hear it for yourself aboard Air Force One, where he said, you know, we need to clean that whole thing out. Just to play it for you. Let's play it.
Talking about probably 1.5 million people that whole thing. It's, it's over the centuries that's had many, many conflicts, that site. And I don't know, it's something has to happen, but it's literally a demolition site right now. Almost everything's demolished, and people are dying there. So I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing at a different location where they can maybe live in peace. Temporarily, or would they it could be either. It could be temporarily, could be long term.
Are you ready to jumpstart your health in 2025? Well, let me tell you about a game-changing tool that's been helping me understand and improve my body. It's called Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach, designed to give you insights into your metabolism like never before. With just a breath, it measures whether your body is burning fats or carbs, and the app provides tailored guidance to optimize your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. Here's how it works. Every morning, you breathe into Lumen, and it tells you what's happening with your metabolism. From there, it gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day so you can fuel your body the right way. You can even use it before and after workouts or meals to get real-time insights into how your body is responding and adjust your habits accordingly. It's super cool. Your metabolism is the engine that powers your body. It's how you turn the food you eat into the energy you need. That's why optimizing your metabolic health can have such wide-reaching benefits. Easier weight management, more energy, better fitness results, improved sleep, and more. And for those navigating hormonal changes, Lumen even adjusts its recommendations to help you maintain a healthy metabolism through life's natural shifts. I've been using Lumen to better understand my body, and the results have been eye-opening. Knowing whether I'm burning fat or carbs has helped me to make smarter choices about what I eat and when I exercise. It's not about the quick fixes. It's about making informed decisions that align with my goals and lifestyle. Take the next step in improving your health. Go to lumen.me/Meidas to get 20% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/MEIDAS for 20% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode and helping us all take control of our health in 2025.
Now, here's Elise Stefanik at our confirmation hearing at the end of last week, saying that she holds this biblical view that really the West Bank and Gaza just don't exist. Here, play this clip.
Rarely surprised by answers in my office, but I did ask you whether you subscribe to the views of Finance Minister Smotrich.
Of who? I'm sorry,
Smotrich. This is the Israeli Finance Minister Smotrich and the former National Security Minister Ben Gvir, who believe that Israel has a biblical right to the entire West Bank. And in that conversation, you told me that, yes, you shared that view. Is that your view today?
Yes.
Okay. I think when it comes to this very difficult issue, if the president is going to succeed at bringing peace and stability to the Middle East, we're going to have to look at the UN Security Council resolutions, not just the ones on Lebanon, which we should enforce, but other UN Security Council resolutions. And it's going to be very difficult to achieve that if you continue to hold the view that you just expressed.
And I should also let you know, while all of this is going on, Donald Trump also is bringing back a Muslim ban that's going to be worse than the one in the Trump administration one. His executive order already indicates that it's going to be far more expansive. Donald Trump rescinded an executive order by President Biden and rescinded sanctions by President Biden, where President Biden imposed sanctions on Israeli settlers who would be blocking aid into Gaza, and those Israeli settlers who would burn down homes of Palestinians. And so Biden imposed sanctions on that group of Israelis, this group of settlers, and Donald Trump allowed that to be allowed those individuals to not be sanctioned, and a lot of those individuals then started burning down homes and blocking aid fairly soon thereafter. And also, while I guess the media is pretending there's a ceasefire, I mean, we're seeing still a lot of death and destruction in the West Bank. We're seeing a lot of death and destruction in South Lebanon as well. 11 killed, dozens wounded in South Lebanon. So it doesn't even I guess the corporate media is pretending there's a ceasefire still, but I guess if they're limiting it to just Hamas and Gaza, but there doesn't really seem to be a ceasefire at all taking place. There seems to be kind of a war zone, and they're pretending it isn't happening. Let me just share this with you as well. This is Mike Huckabee, so you can hear it for yourself, Donald Trump's ambassador. Let's play this clip.
Basically, I mean, there really is no such thing as, and I have to be careful in saying this because people will really get upset. There's really no such thing as a Palestinian. There's not. Arabs and Persians, you don't, and there's such complexity within that. There's really no such thing. That's been a political tool to try to force land away from Israel.
And here's another clip of Huckabee. Let's play it.
My feelings personally, and I'm speaking only as a person, I think Israel would only be acting on the property it already owns. I think Israel has title deed to Judea and Samaria. There are certain words I refuse to use. There is no such thing as a West Bank. It's Judea and Samaria. There's no such thing as a settlement. They're communities, they're neighborhoods, they're cities. There's no such thing as an occupation.
That they get out of their minds that people are living in lean-tos and tents, and sleeping in cars, circled around a tree. They're living in very well-designed and beautiful cities and communities. Can't wait to get back. I'm going to take an extra hat. I'm going to get it to President-elect Trump. Build Israel great again. Who knows? We may see him wear this out there in one of his rallies somewhere. I don't know. Can't promise that. I can only promise he will get a copy of the hat. Thank you very much.
And look, folks, the thing that I was saying is President Biden was trying to get the ceasefire deal about a year and a half ago, a sustainable ceasefire. And Netanyahu didn't agree with it. And Netanyahu said he had his own reasons. But, Netanyahu was visiting Mar-a-Lago. And if we know anything about Trump, we know that Trump killed a lot of bills and a lot of things that would have been beneficial to Biden, like the bipartisan border deal, because Trump viewed those as winning issues for Trump. So just think about that. You had Netanyahu hanging out at Mar-a-Lago all of the, multiple times he was there. The same way Viktor Orban would visit Mar-a-Lago, the same way Javier Milei would visit Mar-a-Lago to undermine Biden's foreign policy. I mean, it was so obvious. So for all of these, Muslim Trump voters or voters who said Kamala and Trump were the same, they were not the same on this issue. It wasn't even a close call, in my opinion, of where they were on these issues. But here we are. And I mean, that call from Trump was just horrific. I mean, he's literally saying ethnic cleansing in the phone call. So in such clear terms, but where you don't really hear corporate media saying it like that. Like that's what he's calling for. It's horrific. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.